Hello everyone, today I'm sharing a nifty little DIY trick I've just experimented with. I hiked about 20 kilometers to a nearby stream to scoop up some natural river sand and brought it home in this small plastic box. The sand's a bit damp and mixed with impurities, but no worries, we'll turn it into something useful for cleaning old stuff. Now I'll pour all the sand from this plastic box into a pot. The pot's sitting on an induction stove, and I'm doing this to make drying the sand easier. Next, I press the button on the induction stove to start it and wait for the heat to rise. At this point, I don't leave the pot alone but continuously stir the sand with a spoon, spreading it evenly from the bottom to the top. Continuous stirring helps distribute heat evenly, preventing the sand at the bottom from overheating and burning while the top remains wet. At the same time, this process creates a light airflow within the sand, helping moisture evaporate faster and ensuring the sand dries evenly from inside out, without clumping or scorching. Sometimes, I also spread the sand out into a thin layer across the surface of the pot, letting the heat distribute more evenly, which not only prevents clumping but also helps the sand dry faster and come out finer. The sand is completely dry now, looking much cleaner. I lift the pot off the stove to let it cool a bit. Safety first, after all. The first part is quite easy, isn't it? And now we will move on to the next part. Before pouring the sand back into the plastic box, I grab a sieve and place it over the box's opening. This little tip helps remove any pebbles mixed in the sand, like sifting rice before cooking. Now, I pour all the sand from the pot onto the sieve. Do it slowly to avoid spills. Using the spoon, I swish back and forth over the sieve. The fine sand will fall through into the box below, while larger pebbles stay behind. This makes the sand purer for the next steps. I usually repeat this process a few times to make sure there are no impurities left, because even a tiny pebble could scratch or damage the item during polishing later on. When I finally see the sand turning soft and uniform like powder, that's when I know I've got the perfect material ready to use. Look at that, the sieve now has all those tiny pebbles. We've removed the impurities. The plastic box now has only clean sand. Now I'll use a simple homemade tool that's my trusty sidekick for tricks like this. I unscrew the lid on the plastic cup, ready for the next step. Next, I pour all the clean sand from the box into this plastic cup. Go slow to keep the dust down. If I go too fast, the fine grains might scatter into the air, which not only irritates the eyes and nose but also wastes the precious fine sand I just filtered. I usually tap the side of the box slightly so that every last bit of sand clinging inside falls out, making sure nothing goes to waste. When the cup is filled with that golden layer of sand, it almost looks like a giant glass of brown sugar, just waiting to be put to the test. These are all my old and slightly rusty accessories, stored in a small plastic cup. They are mostly drill bits and a few small attachments for the drill, looking like forgotten metal toys left behind in the corner of the garage. Some are covered in thick dust, others have turned reddish-brown with rust, and a few are so stuck that they don't even spin anymore. The sand will cover them, helping clean without scratching. Now screw the lid back on tightly so nothing flies out. I'll attach the protruding threaded part of the bolt, the one fixed on the lid, into the drill chuck. Then turn on the drill to spin it. After spinning for about 5 minutes, I've timed it just right. Now I unscrew the lid to check. Grab the original plastic box from the start of the video, and I place the sieve over its opening. Pour everything from the cup onto the sieve. This separates the accessories from the sand. Shake the sieve gently to sift out the sand, letting it fall into the box below. The sand gets less and less, and I start to see the accessories clearly emerging, much shinier. And that's it. The old accessories are now sparkling clean, without a single spot of rust left behind. The real secret is how the fine sand works. Once it spins around inside the cup, it gently scrapes the surface, just like natural sandpaper. But unlike regular sandpaper, it's safer, softer, and costs almost nothing. What's even better is that this method doesn't damage the material. Instead, it polishes away the corrosion little by little, bringing back the original shine you thought was gone forever. Try it, and then tell me how it went. I'd love to hear what you managed to bring back to life. And of course, if you found this useful, hit like, subscribe, and stick around for more everyday tips. Thanks for watching.